fun because y'all said it would be interesting. Hopefully you can kind of see. So I'm making raspberry chipotle meatballs with cauliflower rice and these that I just got from King's portobello mushrooms. They have a little bit of cheese in them, that kind of stuff. They're 60 calories for every 3 ounces, so they are awesome. So we start in this bowl with some gluten-free plain breadcrumbs. My husband is celiac, so he can't have gluten. These are 110 calories per quarter cup, 2 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs, but we're not going to put a quarter cup per serving. It's 1/3 of a cup total of these gluten-free breadcrumbs in our bowl. Apparently I need to restock on those. I'm going to take my rings off here because we're going to eat it. Gross. Okay, so we put those in, and then we're just going to moisten them with 2 eggs. I use organic cage-free eggs because I'm weird and crazy, and my family's from Boulder, so deal with me. So we're just going to pre-scramble these in a bowl. Maybe. Gross. Put them in the garbage bag here. Ooh. Sorry. Clearly I've never done this whole cooking video thing before. So we're going to beat our 2 eggs. They don't have to be like perfect scrambled eggy, just beat them together. And we're just going to use the same whisk to kind of moisten up these breadcrumbs, because nobody likes dry breadcrumbs in a meatball. Okay, so now I've got this ground turkey. It's Butterball brand. It is from Costco. I buy it in bulk. It is 22 grams of protein per 4 ounces. I break it into 6-ounce servings. I'll break down all the macros at the end, but it's 150 calories per serving with 22 grams of protein, so it definitely meets our 10% ratio here. Kind of gives me a little more wiggle room with the seasonings. So that's good. I really like the Butterball turkey. So I'm just going to grab my knife, slice it open. Just pour that in. This is about 1.5 pounds. Is usually what these Costco portions come in. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. I'm gonna wash my hands because poultry gross. Okay. Then I have this roasted garlic and herb seasoning by Weber. This is delicious. Ooh, spill it all over yourself. It's really good. So we're gonna put 2 teaspoons of that in here. It's just garlic, herbs. There's a little bit of salt in it. That's gonna be the only salt we put in this part. So I'm gonna put 2 teaspoons of it. It smells really garlicky and delicious and all the things we want. And then the only other thing we're gonna add to our meatball mix here is this. Now this is the stuff that's not good for you, okay? So 1 tablespoon is a serving. There's 40 calories. Most of it is from carbs. It's 10 grams of carbs. No protein, but this is also where most of our flavor, other than the garlicky flavor, is going to come from. So we're going to use a 1/4 cup of this because we're making 4 servings. So each one has 1 serving in it. And then I'll show you what we're going to do for the top. We'll use a little bit more because I want them to be glazed and delicious. Okay. And then we're just going to mix this together. And this is our meatball mix. You want it to be really nicely mixed, but at the same time, you don't want to over mix it and end up with a tough meatball. The breadcrumbs and the eggs should keep it pretty moist. Okay. So you can see it's pretty well incorporated. There's still some little streaks of our egg and whatever mixture. Egg and breadcrumb, that's what it was. But it holds together really nicely, and then we're just going to 1/4 this, and that is our 4 servings, right like that, but we're gonna form them into little meatballs. So we're gonna set that aside for a second. We're actually gonna make the glaze. Okay, it's just okay. So our glaze is just going to be 2 tablespoons of the raspberry chipotle goo. It's delicious, but it's basically red pepper jam, so it's sugary. Maybe we'll get there. I'm here trying to glug its way out. Can you go throw the cast iron on the grill? The grill's already on and hot.
Okay.
Thank you. Cooking magic. Okay, and then to this glaze, I added 2 tablespoons of water to kind of dilute this a little bit and make it easier to become more of a syrupy type thing. And then we're just gonna mix it together, and this way we don't put like straight raspberry stuff on top as well as in the meatball. Yeah. So I'm gonna do some cooking magic, and I will meet you back outside. Okay, so we are now outside at my grill, but this is totally something you can do inside on your stove and in your oven. Yeah, so I've got my grill kind of low-ish, and then on my grill I have my, well, let me turn you around, cast iron skillet getting hot, and we're just gonna put some oil in there. Okay. Ooh, that's good. Hot. Hot, hot. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take our meatball mixture, and this is a 2 tablespoon measuring cup, and we're just gonna plop it out into our hands. You don't really need to form it, and just pop it in your oil. And then once you kind of see how many meatballs you get out of each quadrant, just go to town. So we got 8 meatballs out of each quadrant. They are in our pan, cooking like that. So we're gonna cook them. We're gonna brown them on all the sides, and then I will. I forgot to add that in the meantime, I am gonna throw these mushroom caps on the second rack in my grill, because they'll kind of cook as we're doing this. So while these cook, one thing I want to talk to you guys about: don't fear poultry. It is really high in protein. If you get the right cut, it is really low in fat. High in protein, low in fat. It's delicious, it's versatile, and you don't need to fear it, okay? My secret, right here, is one of these. This one's kind of falling apart. It's a meat thermometer. They're like $10 at Target, and well worth the investment, okay? Now, obviously, these ones aren't done cooking. You can see that they're raw, okay? But this is the same thing as, you know, doing any of this with chicken. You know, don't be afraid of you. Don't be afraid of it, okay? It's poultry. It's not going to kill you, okay? Anyway, so while we're cooking these, we cook them on about 3 to 4 minutes per side. You can see I've got my heat cranked kind of medium low to keep my pan hot. And then my mushrooms are up here. Yes, I'm touching them with raw poultry hands because they're not ready to eat. They're going to be cooked more. And if you're still cooking and it's not ready to eat, you can touch it with your turkey hands. Okay? All right, back to it. They're blowing up my... Last batch of meatballs. Clearly my 8 meatballs per batch portioning didn't work out, so we're gonna count that 8 times 3 is 24, 25, 6, 28. We'll divide that by 4. We'll get there. There's our portion size. Okay, so you see these are not cooked in the middle. They're raw in the middle, but they are nice and crispy, and all of these are too. Now that we've got some brownage, it is okay to crowd our pan. Normally, if you know with cooking, we don't crowd our pan, but if we're done browning, and now we're just going to finish cooking them through, we're going to crowd our pan. These are not going to be cooked super evenly because I'm doing this on the grill. If you do this on your stove, it will be cooked evenly, but they'll still be delicious. Got a good sizzle going. Sounds delicious. Oh, man down. So you can see this one, the first one we did, it's cooked all the way through because it was doing carryover cook over here on my secondary shelf. That's what I mean when I say these probably won't be cooked super evenly, but they'll still be delicious, which I think is the key, so. And we've got enough stuff in them that even if they overcook a little bit, they won't be dry. So we've got one layer in. I've got a little bit of extra knowledge here, so we're just gonna throw that on. So we've got our heat cranked pretty high. I'd say medium high at this point. You know what? This guy came back together so beautifully. I'm gonna throw him on top too. And this is our tester. Okay, I'm gonna move these mushrooms on either side of the pan. And then this is our glaze we made earlier. That is 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of our raspberry chipotle glaze. The glaze is from Costco. It's the best purchase you'll ever make. So we're just gonna really gently pour this over the top. It's gonna add moisture to our pan. So at this point, if you're doing this not on a grill, you're gonna throw this in an oven, 425 degrees, okay? Until it's done. It'll probably take 15 minutes, give or take. Again, our secret weapon that we talked about earlier. This is our key to cooking poultry. Keeps it from being dry, but it also keeps you safe. It's the best money you'll ever spend. It's 10 bucks for a cheap one, or go to a restaurant supply store, they're $1. Best money you'll ever spend. So on the grill, you can see my thermometer is going up here. It's a little harder to control the heat here. But I'm gonna say probably 5 to 10 minutes. It should hover around 400-ish. It'll probably get a little hotter. But now, let's give a taste to my lovely husband.
Yum.
Yum?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. They're good. It was easy. It was nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna run inside. I'm going to cook up the cauliflower rice. I'm just doing that in the microwave. It's a frozen bag, again, from my favorite bulk produce store, Costco. It's in the microwave, 5 minutes. I'm gonna get that portioned up into bowls. Okay, so on to portioning. We're gonna do half a cup-ish of cauliflower rice in the bottom of each of these bowls. Only the dinner portions are gonna get mushrooms. The leftover portions will not get mushrooms because those are lunches and they don't need as many calories. We like to do most of our calories on the healthy end of things for dinner. So we're gonna do that, and now we're gonna pop outside. We'll put the meatballs in. I will show you that the meatballs are cooked through, and then that's dinner.